What's up, everybody? Welcome to our second episode of State of the Nova Nation. My name is Pat Ralph.
And I'm Alexandra Hernandez.
Tonight on our show, we got some really cool stuff for you. We're going to be talking about some actual hardware, like we actually went to a hardware store and bought some hardware. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to talk some women's soccer, some volleyball, and some really cool accomplishments that happened at Villanova this week.
And this week on our weekly conversation, we sit down with Aaron Sandifer, member of the track and field team here at Villanova.
But first, let's send to Lexi Nall in the Davis Center with more on the President's Award.
On Thursday, October 1st, the university received some exciting news. Villanova has been awarded the Big East President's Award, an award given annually to an institution within the conference that excels in academics, athletics, and service, the trifecta. Now, this is the first time the award has ever been given out, but the committee does plan to uphold the tradition annually. To recap some of the athletic highlights, men's track won the Big East Triple Crown, winning cross country, indoor, and outdoor. Pat Tiernan was the individual champion, and Marcus Sullivan and his staff were coaching staff of the year. Women's outdoor track won 6 events at Big East Championships and set meet records. Angel Picarillo was named Athlete of the Meet at Penn Relays. Women's swimming and diving team also won second straight Big East Championship. So just what made Nova stand out to the committee? Well, Villanova student athletes boast a cumulative GPA of 3.208, with 132 students being named to Dean's List in the fall and 131 in the spring. We can't forget the impressive commitment to service that these students have shown. Villanova student athletes combined for 2,940 hours of community service in the 2014-2015 school year. That's 122.5 days of community service, with over 400 student athletes participating in Day of Service and all 24 varsity teams volunteering for the SPO Fall Festival. It seems that we all have something to celebrate today. Our commitment to giving back to the community has been recognized. I'm joined now by Father Robert Hagan, Associate Athletic Director for the university. Father Robert, what does winning an award like this mean to the university?
We're very proud and very humbled. It says a lot about Villanova. It also says a lot about the new Big East, that these are the values that we as a collection of schools hold high. And academic progress and good citizenship, and certainly conference championships, and just a holistic experience for the student athletes. And so we're very excited that this year Villanova really represented that in a real strong way.
Absolutely. Now, what does the university do to promote this winning balance between athletics, academics, and service?
As you know, being Villanovans, it's really in our DNA. It's been a part of our tradition since the school was founded, to be about a holistic experience, develop the mind, the body, and the spirit. And so that's what we really strive for. Our faculty, our coaches, the Augustinians, from Father Peter on down to Vince Nicastro, our athletics director for the past 15 years, and now being carried forward by our new athletics director, Mark Jackson. That real comprehensive experience. It's not just athletics. It's about developing your mind and giving back and making a difference in your community.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again, Father Rob. And back to you guys in the studio.
Congratulations to all the student athletes who won awards this past year. So, Pat, when's the last award that you won?
Well, other than my gold medal in '92 with the Dream Team.
Oh, you know? Jordan, you and Jordan on the Olympic Dream Team.
Yeah, we played in the backcourt team. I remember seeing us win. It was great.
Yeah, that was great.
So much fun. Probably my last participation trophy or some kind of award that I won was, I think, from swimming in high school. I think at some point, either in high school or like my local club team I swam with, probably something like that.
Yeah,
How
past
about you?
Michael Phelps. I can see that in you.
Exactly.
Your arms, you can tell you have swimmer's arms.
Too kind.
Yeah.
Too kind.
I think the last award I won was participation in my physical education class in 8th grade. So thank you, Coach Momo, for that one.
That's great. Was there anything specific about just for coming to class and just playing hard in your sports, and that's about it?
I think it was my high speed and agility, really.
Wow.
Is what really did it.
Wow. Alexandra Hernandez, speed and
speculation,
agility.
though.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
She's coming out for you. Anyway, let's go to volleyball. Here's Jesse Hatton with more on how the volleyball team did this past weekend.
Villanova's volleyball team is off to a very hot start this season. They're 13-4 overall, and they're 3-1 in the Big East Conference. In fact, they had 2 very nice wins against Marquette and DePaul in the last couple of days. On Friday, Villanova played the Marquette Golden Eagles, and they played them very well. In fact, they beat them in all 3 sets. They won the first set 25-22. The second set, they won 25-19. And the third set, they won 25-21. In all 3 of the sets, the Wildcats would start off with a quick burst of momentum, and they would gain a great lead, but the Golden Eagles, they played well, and they would always come back in each set and make it close, but in the end, the Wildcats pulled away in every set. A couple standout players. Claire Crutchfield had 13 kills, and Allie Lloyds had 11 kills, and Emma Pettit had 40 assists. They were just 3 of some of the many players that showed up for Villanova volleyball that game. The Wildcats played the DePaul Blue Demons this Saturday, and just like in the Marquette game, they won all of their sets. They won their first set 25-21, their second set 25-23, and their third set 25-18. A couple statistics to note. Gabby Petikoukis recorded a season-high 14 kills, and Allie Lloyds also had 14 kills. More from after the game from Coach Steinbach and Gabby Petikoukis.
Well, it's not normally what we do around here. We're used to kind of grinding matches out defensively, and we talked about it last night. I thought we were great defensively last night. I thought we struggled a little bit tonight, but hey, give credit to Paul. They took good swings, and their setter's really good, and she got them in good situations, and and so that's what that's their kind of thing, is to play offensive matches. The good thing for us is we can play a grinded out match and win that one, and then we can play one like this where we played offensive volleyball and we won that one. So that's a good thing.
We're seeing so many different types of swings from Lloyds and Peterson and Gabby and Crutchfield. It's a real tough answer for any defense. And just talk about how all of these players are coming up with something different each and every time.
Well, I think that the good thing is that when you have more than, we've had some years here where we've had 2 or 3 kids that could put balls away. Maybe our best years when Mergen and Pekovic could both really score, but we haven't had it where we've had 4 or 5 kids that can all take a good swing. And I think that's kind of where we are right now. And I think we're confident in all 5 of the kids on the floor putting balls away, and so that helps a lot, and that puts us into some good situations, and it makes it hard for other teams to match up.
Well, I think we've got a lot of great players that can put the ball away this year, especially with the new girls, Allie and Amanda coming in. So I think we've got a lot of different options and people we can go to when we need to. So it's been working really well, and I think tonight we were pretty efficient with that.
Just talk about this weekend. A huge win over Marquette. You hadn't beat those guys in a while. Another good win. What is this doing for morale for you guys as a team? It's got to really make things a lot of fun around here.
Yeah, I mean, we're all excited, but we know there's a long way to go, and this is only the beginning. So we're going to keep working hard and get in the gym every day with the same mindset that we want to come out and be working hard every day.
The Villanova volleyball will resume action this Wednesday as they travel on the road to St. John's. After that game, they'll come home to 2 back-to-back games against Xavier and Butler. Now back to the studio with Alexandra and Pat.
As you can see, it was an incredible weekend for the women's volleyball team here at Villanova. Now they have an 13-4 record going down the stretch for the rest of the regular season.
Now we're going to throw it over to Olivia and Patrick for a women's soccer recap.
My name is Patrick Chapchak, and I'm here with Olivia Wilson. We're here at the Higgins Soccer Complex on West Campus to talk about the Villanova women's soccer team. They've had a tumultuous season, to say the least, so far. In fact, they started off with 3 tough 1-0 losses. Of the 12 games that they've played this season, 9 of them have been away. A tough schedule, seeing as they've gone as far as Colorado, where they did have their first win of the season against Denver. After that, they had a tough stretch, including losses against 2 ranked opponents. Their most recent loss was against Creighton, and Livia is here to talk about that.
It was a tough loss. Villanova lost 3-1 at Creighton, and there was no score in the beginning of the game. It wasn't until the 54th minute of the game that Amanda Volchelka scored with the assist of Christina Kamasa, and then 7 minutes after Creighton came in, and they scored thanks to Lauren Sullivan. So, it was tough. There were 2 scores after that in the last 10 minutes of the game. So, Villanova had a tough one, but I think it was a pretty decent game overall. So.
Well, they only have a limited amount of games left on this season.
Yep.
So what can they look forward to looking down the road?
They have a home stretch coming up, so I think that coming back to Villanova and playing on their own campus and having a crowd outside will definitely help their morale. At this point in the season, they're playing for pride. They just need to get a couple more wins out, and I think it'll be good for them to win those games.
So they have a couple of big conference games coming up. First, a big away game at Providence, then 2 home games right back here. What can you tell me about those games?
Offense is going to be key. Villanova needs to get some scores off. They need to get some goals in. They have 5 for the season overall, so they need to get those in. Providence themselves is a big scoring team. They scored 14 in the first 4 games, so they need to score early for them to win. And then DePaul also has a great team too. They have great offense, so I think for Villanova to win, it's going to be important that they get the goals in. I mean, defense is pretty solid, so they just need to get that offense going and get their feet running in order for them to bring home those wins. So I think that's the key for this next one.
Great, definitely. Well, thank you so much, Olivia.
Wildcat fans, Nova Nation All Access is your source for the most online audio-video coverage of your favorite Villanova sports. Nova Nation All Access brings you live game coverage, press conferences, inside analysis, feature interviews, highlights, and more. With Nova Nation All Access, you're a fan, no matter where you live. Subscribe today at villanova.com.
Hi, I'm here now with Aaron Sandifer for this week's weekly conversation. Aaron is a senior here and is on the track and field team. Aaron, how is your day going so far?
It's going well, you know, so I'm enjoying myself. Senior year, you can't complain, you know.
So, I know track, you're currently in the off season, but as all athletes know, there are no days off. What do you guys do during the off season in order to prepare yourself for the upcoming season?
Definitely go through maybe I would say 3 stage cycle of preseason workouts right now. So for sprints, we're doing a lot of hills, doing a lot of 1-2-1s, maybe do a couple mile repeats here and there. Not too long because we're short sprinters and or mid distance, so we can't really go the length, I would say, of the cross country team. But we're really just kind of getting in shape, trying to get a little more weightlifting training and a little more endurance for us to be before we actually start the first week of December, when we'll kind of tune it up a little faster. Yeah.
As a senior, you're going into your final year. What are your goals? What are your expectations for this upcoming season?
Wow, it's my senior year. I definitely say my goals is always to win the Big East championship. I was able sophomore year to win the outdoor title for the 1-2 meter hurdles. I was the first hurdler to do it since 1986. I had a little sour taste in my mouth last year. Came second outdoors and third indoors. And the biggest thing is to try to win indoors. That's the thing coming up for us, coming in February. And that title is still there. I've been second, I've been third, and senior year it'll be just fantastic to kind of win that. And also on top of it is to make it a pin relays and have a shot to go for NCAA regionals, which is top 40 on the Eastern Coast.
What are you doing anything different to give yourself for this final push, your final season?
I definitely am. I think, you have the same mentality going on, especially, you're a little older. I would say as a senior, you've been cast to the throes of running, got your feet wet and knowing, what you need to do, what is, some positives, that you've taken out from season, and, well as negatives. This season I came out trying to, lift more, eat more, eat healthier, just get more rest. I think that's the biggest thing as a student athlete. You have to try to balance so much that's going on. And I think if you can get, back on a good sleep cycle, get on a good, intensity, that fire, that drive, it's something, I would tell you, it's a very emotional experience being a student athlete. And I feel like I had that same drive, even though this is my last year lacing up against the best. And I feel like it's going to be a great year.
Now, Villanova track and field has this rich history. You have a great coach, Marcus O'Sullivan. Do you think it'll ever get its due credit? It's a little overshadowed by some of the other sports on campus, but does it concern you? Do you think it'll ever get its due?
Wow, track and field I think is always going to be there. I think everyone's going to have this competition or this mantra in their mind, like who's the world's fastest. And I think it's always going to stick around in some heads, they can always, tune in to see what the track and field channel is doing or, what's happening in the Olympics going on, the World Championships. I mean, it's just our nature, being in, I would say in the United States, that you have these high, big, profile, I would say athletics and sports, like football and baseball and basketball, it kind of overshadows track and field. But, it's a rich history here at Villanova. We know we have one of the best caliber basketball teams, but Villanova has a long history and a prestigious history of track and field. And I think just for us, in general, for myself, I just keep, my head down, take one day at a time and know that, I just want to add to the legacy on this team and be a part of the team that, I wear that jersey that has the Villanova on the front and the V on the back. And I think if I can continue on doing that, it can strive and can bring that same message to, future generations, future, runners. It'll just continue to be a great program to be a part of.
Moving forward, what do you think will be the biggest challenge for this coming season?
Well, we have like a lot of new guys on the team. I think it's like 19 new freshmen combined, going from distance to sprints to jumps, on the entire team itself. And I think for us, it's just to really try to get back into a motive of trying to win. I think we've accomplished, something that so many programs haven't been able to do, is win a Triple Crown. And that's winning cross country, the indoor title and the outdoor title of our conference respectively. And I think going on to try to win 3 straight years is going to be hard, especially if you have a young crowd, when you had a lot of veterans, vanguarding, kind of pushing us. I think, as the guys who are older now, who are on their way out, we need to keep that same consistency and flow to the young guys and kind of bring that same intensity going on. And I think if we can get past that, we could do some wonderful things.
Now, Albert Maxwell, he graduated last year, and he's preparing for the Olympics currently in Arizona. Yeah. Do you see yourself doing that after you graduate?
I would say growing up, people have always said, Aaron, can you make it the road to Rio? I love track and field. I think, unfortunately for myself, I think my end of my career is going to be here at Villanova University, but I love the experience so far. To push yourself to that next level it's really hard, but you never doubt yourself. Anything can happen. I think the one thing about track and field is so amazing is it only takes one race, and everything can happen. All your dreams and realities can come together. But for myself, I think if I end my career being able to be a Big East champion, or maybe a multiple Big East champion, being a leader on the team, and kind of making that same installation, that same kind of drive for my teammates. That's what I want to do at the end of my career. And it may not be the same for Il, but I'll cheer on all my teammates who get a chance to go even further in the collegiate stage.
Now, as one of the veterans who's done this for a number of years, you were once a young guy yourself, a young freshman coming in. Yeah. What advice do you have for these new athletes who are getting ready to play for their sport if they haven't done so already?
I would definitely tell the young guys, coming in, it's just have the drive. I think it's the biggest thing once you go from levels up from middle school to high school, to even be able to go actually run or compete collegiately in any sport. It's really just have that fire in the belly. It's one of those things that once you reach the pinnacle of being a collegiate athlete, you're wondering, what drives me to come out there every day, the sweat, to maybe bleed, to put everything on it, for those 2 allotted hours, or wherever you're in a competition. And for myself, if you can have that overarching dream, something that can push you every time you wake up in the morning, every time you're eating lunch, every time you're eating dinner, even time when you're doing homework, that you can tell yourself, like, I got to go out there and work harder because I'm a perfectionist, I'm a technician. That's the fun part about track and field. It's the fun part, I would say, about be able to compete on the collegiate level. And I think if you can have that, and you never lose the little drive to have fun at the end of the day, you'll be just fine.
That's great. That's great. So I know you're one day at a time. Yeah. You like to take it easy. You don't like to think too far ahead. Yeah. But after graduation, what do you see yourself doing? Where do you think you'll be?
Oh, wow. I definitely think I'll be somewhere, being able to, transcend my ideas of communication skills. I love, the past 2 summers I've worked in human resources, to be able to kind of be just an avenue, a place for a source of advice, and a place that I can help guide people towards point A to point B. And I think that's very synonymous with what I've been able to do, being a leader on the track and field team, and being this year's actually the team sprint, captain. And I think, graduating class, I think I can just finish, Villanova with this degree. I can be able to work in human resources, can kind of transcend those same types of skills and leadership positions and roles that I've served here. And I could serve maybe in the healthcare industry, or maybe in the financial service industry. Who knows? Whatever's going to give me the job offer. But I think if I can work in that capacity for human resources, that's something I'm willing to do.
Do you see yourself going back home to the South, or around Philadelphia, or wherever the wind goes?
Well, my father was in the military, retired major in the Army, and I've lived most of my life in the South. And I've always told myself, growing up, my head was always in the atlas. So I always wanted to explore the world, explore the nation, and that's why I actually chose Villanova University. I would say I would love to go back home. I'm an only child. It's just always great to have my 2 pillars, my mom and my dad, to be there beside me. But they've always raised me to be able to, not to be dependent on them, to be able to stand on my own 2 feet. And I feel like whatever opportunities out there for me, I'm going to be able to explore the world. I'm going to be, 5 minutes away from my family, or 500 miles away like I am at Villanova. I'll be able to bring that same life lessons and morals they've instilled in me to people around that I get a chance to touch with on an everyday basis.
It's great. Aaron, thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. Now I'll send it back to the studio for weekly sports wrap-up.
Hi, Brendan back here in the update corner as I'll give you the scores and schedules for the rest of Villanova Athletics this week. Men's soccer picked up its second straight win Saturday afternoon. The game was tied at 1-1 going into half. Sean Sheridan scored from 12 yards out in the 77th minute to give Villanova the lead. The Wildcats held on to win 2-1. They will take on number 13 Maryland Monday night. After a big 10-0 loss to UConn on Saturday, the women's field hockey team returned home for a game against the St. Francis Red Flash. The Red Flash got out early to a 3-0 lead, but a second-half goal by Katie Ward put Villanova on the board. Now they are looking forward to a weekend home games against Providence and Ryder. As for the men's cross-country team, they had a successful showing at the Paul Short Run on Friday. 3 Villanova runners finished in the top 5, with Patrick Tiernan leading the way with a first-place finish. Overall, they finished in second place as a team. Meanwhile, the women's cross-country team headed over to Princeton for the Interregional Invitational. This time around, they finished in 4th place as a team. Angel Picarello finished in 4th place, while Siofra Clary Butner rounded out the top 10, finishing in 10th. That's it for scores and schedule this week. Back to Alexandra and Pat in the studio.
Thanks again for tuning in to State of the Nova Nation. But now we have to talk about what really is on all of our hearts and minds tonight. Pat, I think you had a birthday this weekend.
I, in fact, did, yes.
Yeah, the big 22. Old man, you.
That is correct. I don't know about you, but I am, in fact, feeling 22.
Whoa, I think you just quoted some Taylor Swift right there. Pop culture.
The famous philosopher herself.
Yeah,
I heard that's the thing you have to do when you turn 22 is you have to.
I think it's a rite of passage these days.
Exactly. I could tell you I heard the song many times over the weekend, and many people told me, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22.
Original.
I heard that. Yeah, so original. It's gets kind of old, but it was cool, you know. Yeah. So, but it was nice birthday, a lot of fun. It was a good time, yeah.
Well, happy birthday to Pat.
Thank you, Alex. It's very nice. So we have fall break coming up. What are you doing for fall break?
I'm actually going to Disney World.
Really?
So everyone can, be jealous. It's gonna be crazy.
That's awesome. You going with friends, family?
I'm actually going with my family. Yeah.
No way. Oh, that's so cool. What are you looking to do there? Do you have any specific things you want to do while?
It's just me and my aunt because it's my belated 21st birthday extravaganza at Disney World. You know, that's the first place you want to go.
Of course.
So headed to Disney World, gonna go to Epcot, gonna go to Magic Kingdom.
Oh,
it's gonna be a lot of fun.
There
Yeah, what are you doing?
I'm going home. I'm looking forward to going home, hanging out with
relaxing.
the family. Exactly. Looking forward to just going home, relaxing, get a nice week away, get a week off and stuff, you know. So it'll be good, you know, much more relaxed compared to going to Disney World. But still, that'll be fun. Tell Mickey Mouse is a good friend of mine.
Yeah,
tell him
I will.
I'll
send you a bunch of selfies.
Yeah.
Me and Mickey.
Yeah, I'd love to. Tell Minnie I say hi too.
Oh, I will. Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning in again tonight. We really appreciate it. As I said, we'll see you in 2 weeks for our next episode. My name's Pat Ralph.
And I'm Alexandra Hernandez.
Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you in 2 weeks. That's good. Good job.
Yeah, that was really good.
That's awesome. You're going to Disney World?
Yeah, I'm really excited. It's going to be fun.
When are you leaving?
So I have a lot of plans for fall break.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. So do you recommend the chicken or the pasta?